Hello everyone, my name is Vishwa and I'm here to present my study, the breeding ecology of yellow-wattled lapwing, vanellus malabaricus. Yellow-wattled lapwing is an endemic species to the Indian subcontinent, and in ground nesting birds such as yellow-wattled lapwings, nesting and behavioral strategies against nest predation play an indispensable role in their reproductive success and the survival of the species. Nest predation is the major proximate cause of reproductive failure in birds. The present study was conducted in the campus of the NISER, Bhubaneswar, where we monitored populations across two different landscapes within the campus that had limited gene flow. The duration of the time spent for data collection was approximately 1800 hours and was carried out from December 2020 to February 2022. And according to the data collected, a total of 26 nests were found, and out of these 26 clutches, only 14 hatched successfully. The clutch survival percentage was 53.8, as you can see here, whereas the percentage of the hatched chicks reaching a juvenile stage was only 39.1. This is a graph depicting the same, and the major reason for these outcomes is predation. And the main focus of the study is nest predation during the incubation period. So, several defensive adaptations have emerged in birds against nest predation, and these include nesting in predator inaccessible areas, behavioral defense, camouflage, etc. And most of these defenses are based on visual concealment. Here in this study, we examine the importance of the two major visual concealment strategies adopted by most ground nesting birds: the concealment through vegetative characteristics and the nest camouflage using elevated lapwings as the model organism. This is the core of the study. However, we also analyze other parameters such as food availability, predator pressure, vegetation cover, like the habitats, and also we also did a comparative study between the two selected habitats within the campus and also between the two types of nests in terms of camouflage. So in the study species, two types of nests were observed: nests constructed using pebbles or stones and nests constructed using grass material or laid in the middle of the grass patches. So the main objective of the study was to analyze these two concealment strategies and relating them to the hatching success of the nest. So this is an image of a lower developing nest depicting the nest camouflage. The camouflage mechanisms which involve patterns of the egg and the background substrate are the centerpiece of the study, and they are pattern complexity matching and disruptive effects. So one way in which organisms can achieve camouflage requires its own pattern matching the pattern of the background substrate. This is known as pattern complexity matching. And one more way in which organisms achieve camouflage is by hiding their outline using disruptive markings. The outline of the organism blends into the background, making it hard to detect. This is known as disruptive effects. And this image is also is a nest, but concealed through the vegetation cover. Here they are the eggs, and these are the freshly hatched eggs representing the hatching success. So coming to the methodology, field procedure included monitoring the species daily for a particular period of time. We used a pair of binoculars and a camera to observe the individuals. Camera was also used for capturing the nest images to analyze them for camouflage quantification. And this is an image of a plot from quadrant sampling. Quadrant sampling method was used to assess the vegetation cover at the nest sites and also to assess the food availability at the nest sites and also across the two habitats to subsequently analyze its relation with hatching success rate and to analyze the parameters for the nesting patterns. And we used image analysis techniques and edge detection algorithms to quantify the camouflage. This is an image showing how camouflage quantification works from the paper Camouflage and Clutch Survival in Flowers and Tents by Dr. Mary Caswell Stoddard. The above row represents Clover's clutch and the below one represents Tun's clutch. In the present study, in our study, a similar procedure and methods were used as this one to quantify nest camouflage mechanisms used by yellow-wattled lapwings. So first of all the images were separated into three different sections: the egg contour region, the back outline of the egg region, the egg internal region, and the background substrate region, as shown here. Coming to the variables, complexity ratio is a measure used for quantifying the pattern complexity matching. Complexity ratio, it is a ratio of the number of edges detected in the egg internal region and the edges detected in the background substrate region. So in principle, the closer the complexity ratio to 1, the better the pattern complexity match. And coming to the disruptive effects, the disruptive ratio and visibility ratio are the measures. Disruptive ratio is the ratio between edges detected in the egg contour region, the outline region, and the edges detected in the egg internal region. And visibility ratio is the ratio between egg contour region, edges detected in the egg contour region, and the edges detected in the background substrate. And these two variables, when close to 1, the edges in the contour should be similar to the edges in the eggs or edges in the background themselves. When less than 1, the edges in the contour are harder to detect than those in the eggs or background, leading to low detectability. And when more than 1, they have high detectability. And these are the processed images of the same. So when we analyze the relation between vegetation cover and the number of nests, we found that they are positively correlated. That is, with the increase in vegetation cover, the number of nests around the vegetation cover around the nest, the number of nests increased. And the correlation between the hatching success and the vegetation cover was not conclusive, although there seems to be a trend, hatching success slightly increasing with the increasing vegetation cover. Since even at 0% vegetation cover, there is a chance of 40% success, and whereas at 100% vegetation cover, the hatching success rate increased only by 20%, which that is 60%. And this graph shows the relation between hatching success and the complexity ratio, which is the ratio between background substrate edge and the internal edges. This is the measure for complexity matching, pattern complexity matching. And as it can be seen, with the increase in complexity ratio, the hatching success rate increased. This result states that the nests laid on bagging substrate with relatively fewer edges than egg internal edges had more hatching success rate. But in theory, bagging substrate with more edges than eggs internal edges enhance camouflage. And these two graphs show the hatching success in relation to disruptive ratio and visibility ratio. Visibility ratio. So generally, the nests with lower disruptive ratio will have better camouflage and subsequently a higher hatching success rate. As we can see here, with the increase in disruptive ratio, the hatching success decreased, which means better camouflage nest in terms of disruptive ratio hatches successfully. And similar to the disruptive ratio, the nest with a lower disruptive ratio should the nest with a lower visibility ratio should achieve better camouflage. However, according to the graph, it seems that the higher visibility ratio nest achieved a higher hatching success rate, which is quite opposite to the theory. So the probable reasons for these outcomes could be first is the parents' behavioral experience in nesting, and the second one could be lower predation rates, and the third one could be low sample size, because since only 26 nests were sampled. So overall, the only camouflage metric that supported the notion camouflage predicts survival, class survival is the disruptive ratio. Therefore, from the study, it can be said that the disruptive markings and the pattern complexity matching forms of camouflage did not have a significant effect on the hatching success in this population. And it is suggested that the continuation of this project can yield far more better results. It might alter this outcome since the sample size is low. We can't definitely say camouflage does not have an effect on the nest success. Also, the relation between vegetation cover and hatching success was inconclusive. More data is required to analyze whether the vegetation cover at the nest site predicts the hatching success of the nest or not. Also, so early onset of breeding activities by the yellow-wattled lapwings have been observed at the study site. As suggested in previous studies, it is supposed to be during from March to May in India. But here in the study site, the breeding season was observed from November until June. The variation was observed for 3 consecutive years. So food availability is one of the primary reasons for the variation in the breeding season. Here we have the data for 1 year at this study site, but it requires more temporal and geographical data to quantify this possibility or whichever the reason might be. That's all. Thank you for watching.